Hi, everybody. It is John Ans again with Ashtonwood House Concerts, and it's been a long time. We did not do a summer concert from the deck this year. We have not been assembled for an Ashtonwood since April, but we are very excited. We have got Ashtonwood coming up in less than 2 weeks, and it's possible that this could be our last one for quite some time as life has gotten in the way. And we're going to end on such this incredible note. We have got Kate Kortum coming. She'll be accompanied by Tyler Henderson on piano, and she is also bringing her vocal partners, Joie Bianco and June Cavlan, and they together make the trio, the Sunhouse Singers. So we are very excited, and as usual, we can't wait, and we're going to bring Kate and Joey and June on, and we're going to get to meet them. So hold on one second. Hey, everybody.
How's it
How are
going?
you?
Good. How are
Good, how are
you?
you?
I am great. So first of all, for people who don't know, have not seen these three faces before, Kate, you can start. Can you introduce yourself and tell us who you are and how you got here?
Sure. I'm Kate Kortum. I'm from Houston, Texas. Um, I started playing music in high school. I played instruments. I never really sang all that much until I discovered later in high school that I really enjoyed it. And I went to the University of Miami for my undergrad, where I met these two. And now I am studying at the Juilliard School. I'm doing my master's, and it's my second year now.
Awesome. Joey.
I'm Joie Bianco. I am 23 years old and I'm from Staten Island, New York. Um, let's see, I sang a lot when I was a kid. I honestly probably sang when I came out of my mom, honestly. Screaming, hollering. Um, and and what else? I went to Frost, obviously, with these three wonderful women, and now I go to the Manhattan School of Music, and it is my first year. I'm
Awesome.
getting, yeah.
June, what's your story?
I'm from Santa Cruz, California, so we all hit, coasts, different areas, which is fun. We make a little triangle. I grew up singing a lot. I did a lot of musical theater growing up. And then later in high school, like Kate, I kind of discovered my love for singing as a soloist. And I went to the University of Miami to study jazz voice, where I met Kate and Joey. And then we all moved up to New York together about a year and a half ago, and it's been a huge change since. I just released my debut album, and I'm just starting to work more in the city, and I'm currently getting my master's at the Manhattan School of Music.
Awesome. So the obviously you came from different places. You all met up at Frost, and you did the move to New York together was intentional. Yes, that was not by accident.
Mm.
Definitely, I mean, while we were all applying for our graduate degrees, there was where are we all going to end up? But I think we all knew in the back of our heads that we were probably going to end up in the same
In the
city.
city, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh,
so
sorry.
I'm gonna jump ahead in what I thought I was gonna cover. So let's the three of you together when you're not doing solo stuff, right? When you're not on your own gigs or you're at Birdland or you're releasing albums and CDs, you guys make up the Sunhouse Singers. Yes? Yeah.
This is
Mhm.
true.
So did you know, I mean, did that just like, was that fairly organic, or did you know that there was something about the three of you that you really liked singing together, doing different music, or how did that happen?
I think we started singing as a trio because our freshman year we all were in New York over Thanksgiving break. We were all friends through freshman year.
Mhm.
And I was doing a show at Birdland over Thanksgiving break my freshman year. And since I knew both of them were going to be there, I thought maybe we should do a trio song. So we started out doing like cover, I guess you could call it, of the Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross version of Doodlin'. And we all sang in groups, bigger groups together throughout our undergrad. And I feel like we always just kind of found ourselves doing more trio things. And then when we moved here, We started getting called more to do that specific thing and started getting like more recognition for that specific thing. We thought it might be time to put a name to it. So it was kind of organic. It just kind of we just started doing it and then never really stopped.
Well, and the true formation of the group, I feel like definitely came from like people on the outside saying, "Hey, like this is special," and we're like,
Hmm.
"Okay." Like it was pretty organic. Like we did this show at Birdland, and then we sang some stuff together, on our senior recitals, fun stuff, and then people were really taking to it and saying to us it was special. So I feel like we had to slowly convince ourselves, like, oh, this is a real thing, because it was just for fun, and then
Mhm.
it kind of turned into, okay, now we're recording with people, performing at these shows. It kind of just fell into a thing in New
Hmm.
York.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, as an observer, it seems special, right? It doesn't seem like a trio of convenience, right? It seems like there's a little more to it than that, um, which is great. So going back to individual stuff, given that you came from different places, I also might guess that it's possible each of you might have slightly different influences that either led you to music or voice or other things. I would love to hear what those are.
Do you want to start?
Sure, yeah. I mean, growing up, my dad listened to like a ton of like gospel music and like Nat King Cole for sure. Natalie Cole was a major one. Yeah, like Barbara. There was like a lot of influences there, and I just think I kind of always took to like Nat King Cole, Barbara, Luther Vandross, like all of that kind of stuff. And then as I got to college, it wasn't till Young Arts until I met Kate. Like at Young Arts, I had applied for pop and for jazz voice, and I ended up choosing to go for jazz. And like it was when I was there, like Latanya Hall was our like leader of our jazz vocal program for the competition, and she was basically like, which is it? Like, which one are you gonna choose? Like, because it's kind of coming down to the wire, and like she teaches at Oberlin, so she was kind of coming at it from like you could fit in at like a school, you know?
Hmm.
And so, yeah, from there, I just kind of, after Young Arts, I just kind of was like, all right, I really have to get my stuff together for this. And yeah, so now I do a lot of jazz and I sing a lot of other things as well, like R&B and gospel, but I mean, primarily jazz is what I do. So
Great.
I feel like we definitely have different influences, but I feel like you hear it less in our voices. Like, I think we all come from different, like Joey was saying, like her dad played a lot of that kind of music. And for me, like my parents aren't super musical or even interested in music other than kind of what they grew up with. But I was at a performing arts school for saxophone and flute. And so I was in the jazz bands and kind of discovered jazz in general there, and then discovered that jazz singing was even a thing. I had no idea that people even did that or you could study that. And so, yeah, I think a lot of my influence came from playing in those bands and then being able to sing like some of these really popular big band arrangements, like the Ella with the Chick Webb Orchestra. I got to do a lot of those arrangements. And so, yeah, I feel like that instrumental aspect influenced me, which is maybe like a difference between you and I.
Cool.
I would say for me, my family definitely was like a huge influence on me musically. Growing up, like Joey, I definitely soaked in a lot from what my father was playing. He's a surf guitar player and a DJ, so it was always a lot of music around. Um, and I think one thing that's super fun about what we do as like the Sunhouse Singers is whoever is maybe bringing in a song idea or an arrangement, you can kind of hear some differences like in style and inspiration. But we can all come together and enjoy it because we all love what we all do and bring in. But you can hear each person's individual influences in what they bring in. And I grew up with a lot of like Brian Wilson, a lot of the Beatles, a lot of instrumental music, and I feel I feel like that has influenced me the most with any of the writing I do, especially for Sunhouse Singers. And I think that's one thing that I kind of bring that's different, which is super fun. Like we all have our different influences, but they all come together to make a really cool, unique product, and piece of art. And I think that's what makes us unique as a group for sure.
Great. Well, so let's not bury the lead. The lead here is that you guys are coming to our place in about 10 days. By the time people see this, it'll be, even less than that. So you're coming to Ashtonwood. By the way, have either of you or any of you ever performed in Massachusetts before?
Mm-mm.
The debut. This is awesome. Okay, even better. And so this gig though, this ensemble, either Kate, you just piano and voice with Tyler, who we'll talk about in a second, or the three of you just with piano. Does that one, how do you like that arrangement? And two, does that change what you choose to play? I mean, are there some things that just are going to lend you need more instrumentation, so this changes what would be on the set list that night?
Yeah. Yeah, I think playing duo is such a unique ensemble type. You have a lot of freedom in there's only two of you, so when you deviate, it's a lot easier to follow just one person than it is to follow maybe three or four or even five more people. And so you get a lot of room to like be expressive and do things in the moment that maybe you wouldn't have as much room doing in larger ensembles. I think also, not to jump the gun with Tyler, but I went to high school with Tyler, and so we've been playing since we were 14. So there's a lot of like chemistry there and trusting each other, doing that kind of thing. And I think for Sunhouse, it's a really fun opportunity because a lot of the stuff that we do tends to be with larger bands, or that we have done has tended to be with larger bands or trios. But we rarely, I feel like, get the opportunity to perform duo. And I think it really allows our like very unique thing to kind of shine with just one instrument behind us. So I really love playing duo. I think it's
So to you, not a limiting effect, just to be with.
no.
Nice.
I mean, I definitely think you have to choose your rep carefully. All of us love to arrange for trio. So there's a lot of textural things that when you arrange for trio translate differently. And when I say trio, I mean rhythm section. They translate differently when you're doing just duo. But it's exciting to see how they translate. So I really think playing duo is scary because it's just you two, but it provides a lot of opportunity.
Okay, so small ensemble,
Mm-hmm.
one instrument accompaniment, and you're going to be in a pretty small venue. It's going to look something like my living room. So how does that have you ever done a house concert before?
I don't think so.
Not as
yeah.
a trio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as a trio, no, not as a trio.
But anyway, so does that, it looks like June has done a house concert, but I was going to say, do you feel like, is that a sort of a cool thing, or is that a little scary I mean, so the mic is probably about, you've got about 6 feet, maybe 5 between you and row 1. Of course, there's only 3 rows to begin with. So, how does that, any thoughts about that small and intimate a venue? Is that a good thing or?
Yeah, I think it's I'm like so excited for that. I feel like we sound the best when we're in like places like Misro or like yeah, just smaller venues that are like much more intimate. Um Also, I feel like all of us like not to tune our own horns. I feel like we kind of like love like getting in people's faces and like making people feel like they're a part of the thing. And even if that means like making people a little uncomfortable at first with like eye contact, like I feel like we all kind of do that really well and we love joking with each other. So having someone like literally like next to us being in on the joke is like that's the best for me. And I think they would both
Well,
agree.
you're coming to the right place then.
Yeah. Your living
Uh,
room.
so what then, without giving the set list away, what are people, for people who don't know you, since you haven't been to Massachusetts, for people who haven't, checked you out yet online, and what are they going to hear between, either the style or um, uh, some originals versus covers? I mean, I imagine there'll be a bit of a, you know, a fairly decent range of music, but any sort of hints for the audience what they may get that night?
I think we've sort of worked up a book slowly since we've known each other for so long of kind of a range of different things. I think a lot of our stuff does lend itself to that more traditional Andrew Sisters, Four Freshmen, Singers Unlimited kind of thing. Those are all very different eras, but I think they all count still as more traditional. And so I think we put our own like modern sound and twist and harmony on these like standard songs that have been so well loved and recorded. So I think you'll kind of hear some old favorites that you might know, but with our take on them in a more modern jazz voice way. And you might hear a song that you've heard before, written by your dad. We hope that we can make that one happen.
Well, thank you. That obviously I'm always thrilled by that, but please, if that don't let that diminish the set, just to work back.
No.
Uh, um, so then just because he's not here to speak for himself, what can you tell us about Tyler besides the fact that you've known him since you were 14?
Yeah. Tyler has um, been the most talented person I think I've ever met since I was 14. He taught me a lot about what I know about jazz, and he was one of my peers that really like took me under his wing, for lack of a better word, and kind of showed me the ropes of jazz when I had nobody else to do that. And so he's just this down to earth, really driven, and passionate character that is first, I think, all of our friends, but second, like one of the most amazing pianists and one of the most amazing vocal accompanists. He's super into Nat King Cole. He's super influenced by his piano playing and by his songs and his rep selection. And I think if I scrolled back in our texts, it would just be us sending each other Nat King Cole songs. So yeah, and he graduated with his undergrad degree and his master's degree from the Juilliard School. So we got to overlap last year for one more year of school together, which was fun. So we did high school and grad school together. Yeah, and he's touring everywhere. He's doing the thing. So
And that's actually that's a nice distinction, or not even actually a distinction that you make, but commenting on the fact that not every great pianist, and Tyler is a great pianist, but not every great pianist is a great accompanist.
totally.
So nice to know that um, you guys are not just in good piano hands, but like really good supportive accompaniment hands as well.
Yeah.
Um, well, I don't know what else there is to say. We are very, very excited for next weekend on the 26th in South Hadley at our house. The concert starts at 7. The party starts before then. We'll
Always.
continue after. And again, in addition to those people in the room, it is also live streamed, hopefully, for lots and lots of people who can't make it see and hear. So I know actually I don't know where I know we're getting this interview in before some people are heading away. You're going out and gigging and things are coming up, and so good luck to all that. But obviously, come back, uh, and we will see you on the 26th. And we, like I said, we cannot wait.
Us too. We are
Thank
very
you.
excited.
We're so excited.
Excellent. Well, be well, and we will see you very soon.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. You
Thank you
too.
so much.